Okay, so this is actually some of what I think of the new trailer for Resident Evil Revelations and the gameplay trailers, and I'm actually really stoked about this. There's limited ammo, there's herbs, there's, well, admittedly, the moving while shooting thing, people are keep grumbling. It's like, one, you don't have to do it, and two, that was an Outbreak Falcon and nobody had a fit over that. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. There's apparently a diving mechanic, and the beginning of the trailer sort of implies that there's a dodge move akin to Resident Evil 3, which would be a nice return, because sometimes that actually really, really helps. And sometimes you'll do it, and you didn't mean to do it, and then you're like, holy fuck, I can't believe I actually pulled off a dodge move. I know I sucked at the dodge move, but back when I still sometimes play it, but I sort of sucked at the dodge move in RE3. But I mean, overall, it's looking pretty cool, and I mean, people complain about the first person and the third person aiming and stuff. Thing is, the first person aiming was in dead aim. Sorry, but I would actually particularly like to talk about the trailer because it's such like a mind screw. It makes me a little confused, and at the same time it makes me smile so much because it's so weird. So first off, I would like to bring up A Matter of Time, and that has to do with, well, first you need to know the basic plot synopsis, and that is Chris and Jessica, two BSAA members. Now, we all know Chris, Jessica's a new character. They end up going missing, and their last transmission ends up being on the ship. So Jill and Jessica's partner, Parker, end up going to the ship to try to find them. Now, the ship's in the middle of a storm, blah, 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 and apparently, it gets really weird because the voiceover of the trailer says that it was 38 minutes since they lost contact. If you look at Parker's watch during that scene, it says 7:50 and it's night out. So that's interesting because then at the very end of the trailer, it cuts to Chris and Jessica. They're hiking in the snow on a mountain range. They both have rifles, and it's 5:18 p.m. So it's sort of implying that at the same time, like during the same day, but it's entirely possible that they're just trying to mislead us or something because it doesn't quite make sense. But I would also like to bring up other things, like there's a bilingual bonus actually in the trailer. In the trailer, there's this like banner. The banner has, it's in gold and black, Hufflepuff colors, and it has a greyhound and a shotgun on it. Now, imposed over it in red is something like infin something, velto, something unreadable, morir con, and velto means greyhound in Italian, whereas morir means to die in Spanish, and con means with in both languages. I think morir's also die in Spanish. But it is interesting because then later both Jill and Parker in the trailer get gassed by some guy that looks sort of like Hunk. Now, we don't know for sure if it is Hunk because he's not wearing the red goggles going on. There's no red going on his goggles or anything, but could be. And for simplicity's sake, I'm going to call him Hunk from now on in all these. And the thing is that it is a little confusing. Now, another thing that I'd like to bring up actually has to do with the soundtrack. Now, in the background of the trailer, there's music playing. If you listen to the main melody, it sounds awfully familiar in certain spots. So I'm going to just play the trailer on YouTube. Well, you're not going to be able to see it, but Matt, stop. And that sounds familiar, you know, da 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 da, which is that's Sad But True, which is Jill's theme in Resident Evil 5. Now, the thing is that, and every variation of her theme ends up showing up. 2-on-2, for instance, is mixed between Sad But True and Winds of Madness, since you're fighting both Jill and Wesker at the same time. Old Friends, New Enemies, and Trust, which are immediately before and after Sad But True, have the same melody showing up. So I pretty much say Sad But True is Jill's theme. Makes sense. Jill's main character. But this part I'm a little confused on.
Are you Chris?
Da, 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 da. Let's see.
These things got to Chris and Jessica?
I hope not.
Da 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 da. All the people who played this, well, let's just say. That's Alexia's theme, type 1, when, you know, she looks like a friggin' Great Fairy hybrid, like, you know, Ocarina of Time Great Fairy meets Twilight Princess Great Fairy, you know, that theme of Alexia's. Thing is, I'm confused. Why the hell is that melody in there? That doesn't make sense. I'll leave that up to you, because I normally try to avoid random theorizing and stuff in my videos. I try to avoid that unless I'm bringing up other people's theories. I don't particularly like talking about my ideas, but that is a little weird, because Alexia's theme shows up, sort of, like one of the counter melodies or something. It's weird. It's on different instruments, and the only way you'd notice is if you're actually going out and paying attention to it. And indeed, I've been sort of dissecting the trailer myself, so I guess that's why I notice it. But the thing is that now I would like to bring up the random guy. Now, I refer to him as the random guy, though I actually posted a question somewhere about the guy, and well, one actually responded thinking that was a girl, so I don't know if it's guy or girl, what the hell's going on, but I'm going to refer to him as a guy from now on, and I'm going to just call him Pelirrojo for simplicity's sake, or the redhead. Pelirrojo translates as redhead, okay? But the point is that he shows up. Now, he's the guy who grabs Jill. He randomly, so Parker and Jill in the trailer are running through a room, and he comes up, and he's got a flashlight or something. He's also sort of wearing a dive suit as well, and he's got a watch on as well. And the interesting thing I would like to point out for, you know, simplicity's sake about why Jill and Parker and the random guy that grabs her are wearing watches is because, you know, you need to be able to keep track of time underwater and all that. Air supply issues, decompression issues, etc. So he shows up and he grabs her from behind, but he first takes a flashlight and he flashes in her face almost like he's trying to identify her. Now, there's, as far as we know, 4 people on board the goddamn ship. There's Parker, there's the redhead, there's Hunk, and there's Jill. And yeah, I don't see why he would need to identify her, or maybe he wanted to make sure it was her, or maybe, I don't know, okay? It's weird because, you know, if I were trying to kidnap a person and it was dark out and they had a gun and their partner was nearby and they had a gun, I would probably try to be a bit more stealthy than flashing a light in their face, because then when he grabs her, he's got a flashlight in his hand, so he can't like cover her mouth or anything to get her to shut up unless he drops the flashlight, and Parker would turn around anyway and be like, what the fuck's going on? What the hell was that? Looks around, oh shit. But the thing is that his other hand is like restraining Jill, her right arm, because her right arm, she has a pistol, and he doesn't want to get shot, which is probably a very good idea. So we don't know for sure what the hell's going on with that guy, nor Hunk, or why the hell they're on a ship with a bunch of squiddies, or what's going on with Chris and Jessica. They're hiking in the snow, whereas Jill and Parker are stuck on a ship that everyone's dead. There's blood everywhere. The concept art, there's blood dripping from the air ducts. It's weird. I don't quite get it, but that's the thing. I like it. With all the confusing elements, it makes me really curious to see what they did exactly for this video game. Maybe it actually will live up to its name, Revelations, or not. Hopefully it does. But if it doesn't, well, then people are not going to like it, and then they're going to be like, Capcom sucks. Then again, a lot of people are like, Capcom sucks, blah blah blah, they changed Jill. Well, I guess the issue I have with them changing Jill around so much has more to do with the fact that then it becomes harder to identify what's going on. But we don't know. I mean, like, Hunk, Chris, and Jill are obviously recurring characters. And if someone thinks they aren't, then they really, really, really need to go play some more Resident Evil with Chris and Jill in it. And, well, Parker and Jessica are new. And Redhead, we don't know who it is. The thing is, it could be Alex Wesker. It could be Steve. It could be a totally new character. The problem is that there are certain issues with it. Like Alex Wesker, they don't hear about Alex Wesker or anything until at least Lost in Nightmares, and they hear about it more in depth in RE5, so I'm a little confused about that. But Alex Wesker technically doesn't have to look like Albert, because Albert Wesker and Alex Wesker and all the other Wesker children were not blood relations. They were all kids kidnapped from intelligent families and indoctrinated with Umbrella's founder, Oswald E. Spencer's beliefs in a weird, totally failed biology class form of Darwinism. And, well, that didn't work out so hot because most of them died. But the thing is that I'm just having issues with that, because it's like, it could be him, it could be Steve, maybe it's iffy, it could be a totally new character, which is entirely possible, because, you know, Chris and Jill don't have anything really to do with him or anything, so I would say it could be anything at this rate, given that Revelations is just like total mind screwed territory, so whatever.